The guided missile destroyer USS Carney, operating in the northern Red Sea earlier today, shot down 3 land attack cruise missiles and several drones that were launched by Houthi forces in Yemen. This action was a demonstration of the integrated air and missile defense architecture that we have built in the Middle East and that we are prepared to utilize whenever necessary to protect our partners and our interests in this important region. There were no casualties to U.S. forces and none that we know of to any civilians on the ground. Information about these engagements is still being processed. We cannot say for certain what these missiles and drones were targeting, but they were launched from Yemen, heading north along the Red Sea, potentially towards targets in Israel. Our defensive response was one that we would have taken for any similar threat in the region, where we're able to do so against our interest personnel and our partners. This attack may be ongoing, so if we have more information to share, we will. But again, as the Secretary has made clear, we have the capability to defend our broader interests in the region and to deter regional escalation and broader expansion of the conflict that began with Hamas's attack on Israeli civilians on October 7th.
Now, over the past couple of hours, there have been conflicting reports about where these missiles and drones were actually headed. Some U.S. intelligence officials seem to believe that these missiles were actually targeting U.S. warships, while others believe that these missiles and drones were actually headed for targets in Israel. But regardless of, where these missiles were intended to go before they were shot down, one thing we do know is that a whole nother country has now gotten involved in this war. These missiles and these drones were sent from Yemen. So that's a whole nother country that has thrown itself in the mix. And now Libya says that they want to get involved as well. And they're even in the process of trying to send weapons into Gaza. I don't know how that's going to work out, but they're trying to work that out as we speak. So, before the U.S. has even officially gotten involved in this situation, don't get me wrong, we're involved in this war already, but before it has become official, before the U.S. military has officially gotten involved in this war, just today alone, U.S. warships had to shoot down 3 missiles that were possibly targeting them. They had to shoot down multiple drones. We've had several attacks on U.S. soldiers in Syria and multiple attacks on U.S. soldiers in Iraq. And that is all just within the last 12 to 14 hours. Not even a whole day yet. Not even in a whole 24 hours, we got this much activity, this much action, this many hostile attacks on the U.S. forces before we're even officially involved. So where do you honestly think that we go from here? The 2,500 troops that we're sending to Israel haven't even made it yet. But you know what? Don't worry, guys. They're going to be totally safe. Because that's what the White House told me. The 2,500 Marines that we're sending to the front lines in Israel, they're going to be totally safe. As missiles are being fired at our warships, as troops are being attacked in Iraq and Syria. I'm telling you right now, folks, if today is any indication of what is to come, this is going to get really messy. Really messy. Already Israel, they're preparing to invade Gaza. They're fighting in Gaza. They're fighting in the West Bank. They're fighting in Lebanon. We got fighting happening in Syria. Now there's new attacks in Iraq. Yemen is firing missiles now. Libya is trying to get in on the action as well. this is going to be the biggest conflict in the Middle East that we've ever seen. Think of all of the wars and conflicts that we've had in the Middle East in your lifetime and in my lifetime. Put them on steroids and multiply them times 10. That's what we're looking at. Now, of course, America has said that if all of these other countries get involved, and if all of these other countries attack Israel, that we're going to get involved and we're going to basically join in this war to defend Israel. So, I mean, that time has come, right? When you got rockets being fired from Lebanon, rockets being fired from Syria, rockets being fired from Gaza, you got skirmishes in the West Bank, you got Yemen sending missiles and drones, Iran, making their threats, and Iran is funding a lot of these terrorist organizations and these various militias and little cells and proxies throughout the Middle East. If America is going to do what it claims it was going to do, then I think we've already basically seen enough for us to get involved, which is why I'm wondering what Biden is going to say tonight as he addresses the nation. But then again, like I told you all yesterday, I don't expect them to be fully transparent and honest about what's going to happen here, because even Biden's own voter base, they're totally against getting further involved. In fact, a lot of them came out in support of the Hamas attack on Israel when it initially happened. And I understand, people have opinions and positions that they take on this matter, but if you see people invade a country, kill 1,000 people, kidnap a bunch of people, and your immediate response is to take to the streets to basically celebrate, then I don't understand that logic. So, but that's the logic of a lot of this voter base. So we're going to see what he announces. I mean, like I explained to you all last night, in any other situation, any other president, I think that this speech would be the speech that our president would give to the nation, letting them know that we're about to go to war. But in this situation, and the way things are these days, they're going to be so secretive about what's happening over here, or happening over there. But make no mistake about it. Looking at just what has happened in the last few hours, it's inevitable. There's no way that we're not going to get further involved. And we're already involved, but there's no way that we're not going to just basically fully join this war at this point, if you ask me, because troops are already getting attacked throughout the Middle East. And, we've already promised to defend Israel. And these other countries have now pledged their allegiance to basically destroying Israel at any cost. So, oh man. Going to be a very sticky, interesting situation, but something happened yesterday that's kind of getting swept under the rug. The White House actually put out pictures of Joe Biden meeting with these special operations units, right? Now, we have special forces that are operating in Israel, that have been operating there for a long, long time. A lot of these people are undercover. Sometimes they go on secret missions. You're not supposed to show these people's faces, right? These are supposed to be super secretive special forces units that we have in various places throughout the world, and you're never supposed to show their faces. Well, yesterday, the White House posted photos showing these people's faces, basically doxing their identity. So now a lot of these special forces units that we already had on the ground in Israel, that we may have used to help, evacuate U.S. citizens, that we may have used to gather intelligence on the ground, that we may have used to, conduct rescue missions to get hostages. Now they've had their faces blasted online. So Israel's enemies and our enemies know exactly who they're looking for. So that's a scary situation. Since then, the White House has apologized and they've removed the photo, but this is a mistake that you can't make. This is a mistake that puts people's lives at risk And I can't help but wonder how it feels if you're part of this special forces unit who's been, away from your family for who knows how long, involved in these secret missions. We don't even know that they're over there. Their own family members probably don't even know where they are. The commander-in-chief comes to meet with them, and someone had the dumb idea to take photos of it, and they literally posted it. The White House posted it themselves for millions upon millions upon millions of people to see across the world. So those little mistakes, those mistakes are mistakes that you can't make, especially in a time of war. So I would hope that we're going to get those people out of there now that their identities have been blasted to the entire internet. But who knows? Maybe we're just going to keep them over there, and now they're at more of a risk than ever before because now people know exactly who they are. But I'm going to continue monitoring the situation. I look forward to seeing what Biden has to say tonight. I'm not expecting too much, but then again, you never know what to expect, especially after everything that has happened today. But for now, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, drop a super thanks. But if you want to support my channel for totally free, you can hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.